This is it. A movie by Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Did you see it?
No.
This is it.
No, I didn't.
It's good. It's Michael Jackson, and he's just kissing boys on their penis, but he's moonwalking while he does it. We going?
Yeah.
Coming in live from London. London, did you hear that, Australia? You lost us. G'day, mate, you lost us. And also, I left a big vial of coronavirus in the apartment we left.
Why are you giving away all the secrets?
Remember on the way out of Australia, they tried to keep us there.
That was horrifying. That was horrifying. You and I, I'm going to give us... I know I probably don't seem like I'm good at playing it cool, but I think when it really matters, I can play it cool. Did I do a good job of playing it cool?
Yeah, we both were cool. Remember when he said to me, show me your ID, and I was like, why don't you go fuck your mother?
That's not what happened.
I was like, I'm out of here. I'm out of your dumb country. And then I started jumping around and going like, this is what a kangaroo looks like. That's what you are. You're a kangaroo.
That's not how I remember things.
What I do remember is just sweat leaking down my ass cheeks. Because I got nervous because I was like, but we're nearly out of here. Well, mate, how'd you sustain yourself for 6 months? And then I was like, I'm about to lie now.
Yeah. Well, because they did, to some degree, they separated us a little bit. Do you remember that?
Kind of.
They kind of took you away from me and started a conversation with you, while then another person started a conversation with me. So I was sitting there trying to have a conversation with that woman while trying to hear what was going on in your conversation. And I heard them asking you how we sustained ourselves, and you said that your life savings. And it's funny because I remember hearing what they were asking you more than I remember whatever I said to them. Because I was trying to do the two actions at once. I'm pretty sure I was just like talking about the comedy festival and coming out and being canceled, and then how we stayed with friends, which, is also a lie. And yeah, it was very scary because I was like, and I heard them ask you if you had any cash on you.
Then he said, that guy was okay. And she was quite nice. But then there was another guy off to the left, and he was like making a phone call. I was like, who you calling? My fucking mother. Get the fuck out of here. We're leaving. It's because they couldn't find our visas.
They couldn't find our visas because we applied for a COVID visa, and then they said, we just didn't recognize that visa. And I'm like, is that my fucking job to help you with the visas that your country is coming up with? Fuck you. But I didn't say that.
Yeah, and plus we're leaving. Why did I care?
I know, it's weird. Like, what do they think we're taking out of that country? There's nothing there. There's no money.
Not good memories anyway.
There's no drugs, no good memories. Like, what are we peddling aside from, like, kangaroo meat? Like, I swear to God. So, but we got out. We got a little tiff in Hong Kong. That was fun.
Yeah. Hong Kong. Every time I say it, I hear a gong.
Uh-huh.
Hong Kong, and it goes... Boom. Jesus Christ. No, I don't remember that. I think we were fighting in Hong Kong.
Well, we weren't fighting, but we had a very typical couple argument because
I had all the bags.
Because you had all the bags.
I had all the bags, and it was starting to smell like shit.
You had all the bags.
Everything's
you smelled like shit. Well, hey, that's your fault. You know why? Because you got shit rocked our last night.
Oh yeah, that's hungover.
Yeah, you were very hungover. So yeah, we went to hang out with John Boy one last time, and you well, like, you know, his lady friend. We never gave her a name. I mean, she's one of my favorite people on earth. I look forward to the day to see both of them again. But she kept filling up your glass with daiquiri, and
she never left it go empty.
Yeah, never.
That's very good.
She's one of the best hostess I've ever.
She's a great hostess.
Yeah, ever. Like, because she made fried chicken without like a deep fryer, which I've actually never seen someone successfully do.
That was really nice.
It was really delicious, and they had all those hot sauces.
Yeah, I put too much on and I hurt myself.
Oh, that was funny. I watched that happen to you. It happened to me. I used that same hot sauce when I was having a conversation with, where was that guy from?
Which guy? Just two guys.
Not English.
Oh, the other guy's from Czech Republic.
Yeah, so the Czech guy, he was talking to me about yoga, you know, which we love so much, but he was really talking about yoga, like really in depth, and like to the point where when I dipped my chicken in that hot sauce and I put it in my mouth went on fire, but I felt, you know, this is where my social anxiety comes in. Instead of being like, excuse me, sir, I am in pain and I need to take care of this, I was like, I have to pay attention until he ends his thought. But his thought was like never ending about yoga. Like, it was actually really impressive. It's the most I've seen that guy talk. He talked about yoga and he did it for like 5 minutes to the point where I went into pain, into shock, and then came out of it and was fine by the time that conversation was over. But then I watched you out of the corner of my eye do the same thing.
I was just downing the daiquiri because it was kind of cold.
So yeah, you were downing the daiquiri.
Just to like try and stop my mouth from being too hot. But I mean, that's vodka, isn't it? So.
Well, and then it was, you know, so your alarm went off notifying us that, you know, we had to go because of the curfew.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy
Andrew.
Dan Mandrews.
Yeah.
Fucking cock. We're out of there. So I hate that man. But yeah, so your alarm went off, but now at this point you're hammered, and you kind of look at me, and I'm feeling sentimental, and like, was it GBH? John Boy had broken out the GBH, which I had never done before.
I always got something up his sleeve.
And I don't know if it really did anything, but I always get very sentimental, and I was feeling overly sentimental, and you were wasted. And you know, we had that conversation, like, should we go?
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
And I can be swayed. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I was like, well, because I'm sitting there and I'm trying to, like, negotiate. I'm like, well, we could stay here until 5 a.m. and we could just party, and then I'll stay awake and finish packing us, and then we'll go to the airport and we'll just pass out on the plane, no big deal. But I remember trying to have this conversation with you, and you were like, I don't know, I need you to make the decision. And you were saying that as you were standing on a chair with smoking a cigarette, and then you like nearly fell onto your face with a cigarette, and I told you to get down off the chair, and then you were standing next to the chair, and you fell into the wall, and you spilled daiquiri all over yourself.
Oh yeah, I was bruised, and I remember falling.
Yeah, but then I was like, oh, you're hammered. And you were like, I can't make this call. And I was like, well, I can't make it either because you're too drunk to make it. And my heart's too big right now. I don't want to leave these people because I hate saying goodbye because I didn't have a father. You know, I was abandoned. So, but then you were actually the voice of reason. At 8:04 p.m. you were like, we should go.
What if we could miss our flight? Like, it's not out of the, like, if that could have happened.
And I mean, I wouldn't be here.
You'd kill
today.
yourself.
Yeah. But then saying goodbye took 35 minutes. It was funny. We kept putting on songs and then all in a group hug dancing to them. She was crying, which made me cry. It made me so sad. I hated saying goodbye because
They were the funnest thing about Australia.
They were easily the best part about Australia, but not even that. It's like even with all the fucking horseshit that was, you know, we were lucky to find anybody that not only were friends there, but that I would consider friends for life.
Yeah.
And just always a good time. My only regret is not hanging out with them more. But so we left after the curfew, and we had to sneak through the streets, and I had to get your drunk ass. Your mask kept falling off your face, and you were like, I don't care.
Yeah, what do we want to do at this stage? You know what I mean?
And
yeah, I guess they could lock you up and you could miss your flight, but I think it's in their interest to get you out of their country at this stage.
Right. Well, then we got back to the apartment.
I don't remember anything then.
Well, I'm surprised. Yeah. So I had to help you get your pants off.
Oh, yeah.
You went straight to the bed.
I can get my pants off when I'm drunk. You should see me on public transport. I get a breeze on my penis. As a woman screams on the phone to the cops, I have a breeze on my penis.
Well, your songs I'm glad to see that they have the same hit, even on this side of the world. Well, so you went face first in the bed. You're like, I had to help you get your pants off and your shoe. No, I think you got your shoes off yourself. But then at one point, pretty soon after you went down, you like shot back up and staggered to the bathroom and, you head in the toilet. We're trying to puke. And then I was like, are you going to puke? And you were like, I don't know. And so I tied your hair back for you so you could puke better. But then you like looked at me and, pulled your underwear down. You're like, I just have to pee. And so then you sit on the toilet to piss. And I'm like, you got to pee? And you were like, no. And then you just stood up and then fell directly into the shower and on the floor. And I was like, good God. And that's
so funny being too drunk. It is a hilarious way to be.
Well, that is why you were so stinky and miserable on the plane.
Yeah, that hurt. That was painful.
But fortunately, John Boy gave us each half an Ambien, so at least
that worked for the second flight, because the second flight was night. Like the first flight was Cathay Pacific is a good airline.
Yeah, and sadly
Very
they're
nice.
Going out of business, it seems.
Yeah, but fucking British Airways was a fucking absolute what?
Shit
It was
show.
like a pigsty in the sky. Just fat, smelly English people, just all crammed in, just stinking up, giving each other COVID for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, in Cathay Pacific, it was very lovely with all my space. The air was fresh, the meal was beautiful.
Oh yeah, you love the airplane food.
I love it. I still want to open that restaurant that just serves airplane food.
Yeah, this is a great idea. I do endorse. I normally tell people don't open a restaurant when you have no experience running a restaurant, but this one, I think, just have at it.
Picture it. You sit in booths that are as tight as the seats on a plane.
Right?
You're not even facing each other because I want this to be authentically like an airplane. So you're like in an airplane that's on the ground. And then the menu has all the different airlines.
Does the restaurant move? I think it should move. Like, even if it's just rotating.
Maybe it's like, the shell of a plane that just kind of rotates sadly in a circle.
Yes.
In a circle.
In a circle, going nowhere fast.
And then like the head chef in the kitchen does the oh, we're just taking off. Strap in, desserts on its way. And then your actual waiters do push a fucking cart. It's going to be...
Yeah, and you get
If you enjoy having... I know like a lot of comics have their jokes about airplane food or whatever, but I'm serious. I think opening a restaurant that serves airplane food is hilarious. And it'd be good. I've never had a bad meal on a plane.
Well, knock on wood, because you're due.
Or maybe my standards are just realistic. What do people think? They're going to get fucking... beef a la pignon or some shit at fucking 70,000 feet.
I mean, Cathay gave us those pork noodles, which I thought were really good.
Do they have them or do they have?
You had the pork noodles, yes, because you told me you regretted not getting the beef pie.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I still regret that.
Yeah. Well,
Fuck, I'm going to think about that every 2 weeks for a second.
Well, that's a reason to fly back to Australia, just so you can get the beef pie on the way back.
Or we could just fly to Hong Kong. Boing. Do.
Okay. Yeah, the British Airways food. I don't even remember eating.
That was bad. That was kind of shitty, but I'm like, we were passed out on Ambien, so.
Yeah, because I remember I started whatever movie I started. I think it was Little Women, the new Little Women, which, I think was a mistake to make, but who cares? The Ambien kicked in so fast, probably because, we're like sleep deprived and our bodies are going through weird time zone shit and everything. But I passed out and I woke up to food in front of me and you were already scarfing your food, but no one else around us was eating. So I don't know how we got you couldn't tell me how we got the food.
No, it was there. I was going to eat it. I think there was bread and some sort of... That was probably one of the worst airplane meals. It's still good though. And no matter what, if you're eating in the sky, it's good times.
See, I had good food on British Airways going to Scotland and also even flying from New York to London, but yeah, that was tragic. That was tragic, and the flight was packed. Unlike Cathay, where social distancing was no problem and we had rows to ourselves, this flight there was not an empty seat on the whole fucking thing.
Packed full of farm animals as well. If you remember, the quality of human being on that flight was of low standard.
Yeah. That's fair.
Some real fucking, a couple of people had parked the old wife, some people needed 2 seats and they were squeezed into one, if you know what I'm saying. Big fatty bum bums.
Well, and then we got to I'm, because for me, everything's been so jarring. And like, I guess, not to plug somebody else's podcast, but I just did Horatio Gould's podcast and, pretty much went from beginning to end through the whole fucking thing, really including like how you and I met and just the whole thing, right? So if you want to hear about it all, you can check that out. But like, I don't even remember what I was about to say. What was I talking about?
I think you were gonna.
I see. I'm dealing with trauma, is what I mean to say, because I to me it was like not enough to be on the flight. To me, it was like when we touched down and my feet are on the ground outside of Heathrow Airport in London is when that thing is fucking over, And we had to fill out these forms, like the passenger locator forms, so people could find us in the event.
What a joke that is.
Yeah, like we get off the plane. There's like signs being like your temperature is about to be taken.
Not even one person
There's no adult.
It was a machine. There. It was a machine that you just put your passport on and just opens again. It was easier than using the tube.
Yeah, there's no adult there, and then I had.
This country has some of the most COVID for sure with their lax border security, which I agree with their lax border security because I didn't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah, me too. I mean, because I had all that perfume. Because I don't know if I ever brought this up, but like I have a scent. And it was discontinued, and I found out while in Australia, and it turns out it's being sold at every Chemist Warehouse in Australia. So I started buying that shit up when I had money.
I have a scent too, and it's shit.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that in a minute, because indeed you do. So then it was like 2 days before the flight, I like looked at you, and I was like, what's customs? Because like I've never had anything. And, I was like, fuck, I'm about to bring all this perfume into this country for my use, but I didn't want to, like, deal with anybody at customs. And sure enough, there was no one to deal with. So that was a pleasant surprise. No passenger locator form was checked. No temperature was checked. And I have my perfume, my $12 of Balenciaga B discontinued perfume.
Oh, we just strolled into this country like the open gate it is. And us and the rest of the farm animals just wandered in.
I'm grateful. I am so grateful.
So am I.
Yeah, I do not want to knock whatever it is they're doing, because right now, being here compared to what we went through,
all you have to do is not look at the news and it's all good. Apparently up north is bad, but we're not up north, so fuck them, you know what I mean? Sorry.
It's so easy to get like that when suddenly we're not the people who are being oppressed.
When it's not you, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
When it is you, it's not one bit funny.
I mean,
that's a lesson for everyone in life. Take this with you wherever you go. When it's not you, it is hilarious. And I'm talking about black, disabled, women. But when it is you, me in Australia, not doing all the lovely things I want to do, then it is offensive for anyone to put anything on Facebook. If you even have the cheek to smile and be outside, yeah, that was too much and it was rude. I want you cancelled. But when it's not me, ha 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 ha.
Noted. Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, remember we got to where we're living, and pleasant surprise, it's beautiful. Like, it didn't look like this in a photo. Like, I'm just so ready for things to be such shit at all times after the last 6 months that when we walked into this room, I was like, no, you know?
That's very nice room.
Like, I thought, I was like, are the walls going to crumble around me? Is that the catch? Am I going to be buried in this room? So we walked into this room, and then we went to a Weatherspoons because I've never been to one, and we were hungry.
Guess
and
whose idea that was?
Huh?
Guess whose idea that was?
Yeah, obviously it was yours. You wanted to relive part of your youth when you used to work there.
Oh my god, the breakfast is so bad for you, and it's so big and it's so cheap.
And it's not. It doesn't really taste good, but
It doesn't matter.
But
it
we
does,
like-
because you just pump it with fucking ketchup and they just put all the condiments on it, and you just...
yeah, but it was weird to get condiments there because they're doing like COVID style ordering. But even so, we're like at a restaurant, and we like walked in and we had our masks on, and everybody looked at us like we were freaks, so we took the masks off.
It was great because it was a restaurant full of old people. They call it Weatherspoons. It's called God's Waiting Room.
Hilarious.
And it's full of old people with no masks on, and they're going to be the first to go, and they don't care. They don't believe in it. One thing, because remember I wore my mask in there, and then I saw someone stare at me maskless, so I kind of sheepishly took it off, and I was like, yeah, it's probably a hoax actually. It's probably an hoax old man who's coughing in the corner who looks like he's about to go.
I think, I've been really passionate about the Australia situation after living in it because I guess I'm American and, freedom is in for me. And the way I was forced to exist while in Australia, I'm like, to me, if that is like being alive, there's no point in it for me. Like, that's not living for me. Being told by a man I've never met, a government that or a government of any kind. Like, when did it become cool to be like, you know what? The government said I should do this, so I'm going to fucking do this. And being forced to like live it, like shut inside my home. And this isn't like an anti-masker type situation, where I'm like, I don't believe in the coronavirus. It's like, yeah, no, there's a virus. But like, at this point, I feel like we have the information that we need to be allowed to make the choice that works best for us.
Are you saying we should throw all the old people into an incinerator?
Just like the Jews. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for me personally, it frightens me what's happening in Australia. And I am grateful to be out, and I don't know if I will ever go back. Because we've been out just over a week now, and I've acclimated faster than I thought, but like, it's been weird because when people...
I can't even remember my fucking old lifestyle. I just got straight back into this.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know if anyone's asked you, how are you? What have you been up to? But like, I went to, one of these shows, and somebody that I knew, they were like, how was lockdown for you? And I'm like, where do I begin? And like, and even then it's just like, I feel it's harder for me to socialize. Like, I'm coming back to normal, but it's been a lot, and it's been relatively traumatizing. And then, it's manifested in its own anxiety and fears. But fortunately ketamine's resolved some of that because we can buy that freely in this country. So all in all, my life
supporting black businesses
improved 100%. I'm thrilled to be here. I can't be more grateful.
I'm already back to work. I'm just back to normal life.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of you, smelling like shit and being drunk, it's basically like you did the plane again, except this time.
I got back into booze this week, alright, in a very special way.
Yeah, special way.
I was a bit of a drunk for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
A drunken man who goes to work, gets out of work, and he goes to the bar. The fucking bar with no mask on. I was sitting outside on I just wanted to do one patio getting drunk day, you know what I mean? After work with my friend.
Yeah.
And I fucking did it. I nailed it.
Yeah, well, there's 2 nights in a row that you have...
missed my I fucked up my trains.
Yeah.
Ended up taking 3 or 4 hours to get home because I'm drunk, falling asleep, or waking up in the wrong station. I can't figure out the buses, and I walk 4 miles, and I'm just a fucking husk by the time I get back.
Mm-hmm. And there's like steam coming off of you.
And it happened the night before last, and then somehow... it happened again last night.
Yeah, so the night before last, you had gone to a friend's birthday, but you also collected all this stuff that you had stored at his house. A big bag of stuff, our stuff. Heavy, very heavy.
Big up my man Luke, he looks good with his haircut, and he also was doing yoga.
Nice. So, but you miss your bus. You're stinking drunk. So you have to lug all that shit, like, what, 2 miles?
I would say it was 10 miles.
Okay, 10 miles. So you lug all that shit. So
It
when
was,
you get home...
like, it wasn't 10 miles, but I actually think it was 4 or 5 miles I walked.
No, I believe you. So when you get home, you're sweating so much that, like, the hair on your asshole is singed. It's like you've, like, rubbed it together, like, 2 twigs, and you've, like, started a fucking roaster down there.
Oh, everything. I'm so... Because it's hot here. It's fucking hot as
so it's
shit
hot
here.
here. It's hot. Oh, dude, you look like you're complaining.
No, I love it, like, but fuck, even walking at night with all that, you know what I mean? It's so sweaty.
So you were hot. So you get home. So you're hot. You're drunk.
Carrying 2 bags.
Carrying 2 bags. You go to sleep. You wake up. You go to work. So at work, you work. You're landscaping. So you're covered in dirt. And guess what else is still sweating? Your ass crack. Everything's sweating. The ridges of your dick sweating. There's sweat everywhere. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. And now we're being offensive. So
there's dirt in my hair as well.
Yeah, I know, and I can see it right now because you haven't washed your hair and you're just twisting it, twisting away, twisting all the dirt into it. So
it's my tick.
You get out of work and then you go with your coworker to have a few drinks, which I guess also ends up with you guys sitting outside of the tube station, drinking out of cans.
You can do that over here.
Yep.
You're allowed to do that.
Like vagrants. So then...
Actually, we were saying rude stuff about people who were passing going into the train station.
That's fun. That's a fun thing to do.
He's French, so he's very, do you know what French people are like? Yeah, he's like, do you want a fed bitch? And then we'd both like go, ha 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 ha. We'd laugh for ages. And then he would like, look at your tits on that. And then I would go, ooh, I'm married. I can't look. But I'll have a peek. And then he would like, yeah. And then I look and it's like a 12-year-old. And I'm like, French people, they're very liberal.
I'm glad you seem to have used your time wisely yesterday. So you get...
chain smoking cigarettes, judging people as they go into the train. You're getting judged by 2 just guys covered in shit with beers. Just chain smoking. Looking like absolute fucking trash.
Well, and then little do they know that one of those guys covered in shit who looks like trash is about to miss his stop again for the second night in a row.
I love it.
So you miss your stop, and I know something is amiss because I'm at a show. Because unlike Australia where I just was, I have gigged every day for the last 4 days, and I'm not bragging. I'm just really fucking grateful. But I'm at this show, and I'm asking you if you've had dinner, and you're not really answering that question. Instead, you're just telling me where you are, but I don't know what that is. And then you're telling me you're getting a bus. And then I ask another question, and your answer to that question is where you are and that you are getting a bus. So I'm like, okay, I'm being thorough. Drunk. He is drunk, and... Then I was like, look, just let me know when you make it home because I can't help you. Like, I'm in a place called Berrylands, which sounds like,
I know where that is.
Well, it sounds like one of the fucking places you land on in Candyland. Like, it doesn't sound real. It sounds made up.
Place Roberton.
Well, and I'm a little freaked out because, like, the trains come there every 30 minutes. And it was a nice show put on by a very nice lady. But, like, I was nervous because I was hungry and I wanted to get the fuck out of there and not, like, miss the train and wait, like, 35 minutes for the train. So you've stopped replying. You're like, I'm home, but you've stopped replying. So I'm kind of giving you my status, but you're not reading it. You're not replying to it. And then the last thing I say to you before I get home is, I hope you showered before you fell asleep. So when
I would have hoped that too, but hope is a flimsy thing that doesn't really exist. It's just an idea.
Fair enough. I mean, it's not tangible, that's for sure. Like the shit that you were covered in when I got home.
That was very real.
When I got home, I entered the room, and the beautiful television that I purchased for us at a incredible sale price was on, and
all 50 inches of it, and I was just watching child porn.
And to music, you had music, and child porn on. No, but so you'd gotten the TV on and you had selected some playlist, and then and so that was on and there was a light on, and then I see the evidence of candy, like the empty candy that had been stored in the room was gone. Like the wrapper was empty, all of the candy had been scarfed, the wrapper was on the floor. And then the next thing I saw was a very expensive earring of mine that has the end that goes through the ear. You had twisted into a tool that you could use to what you've now told me.
Scoop this shit out of where I fucking plug my charger into my phone.
Scoop the shit out of your ass. So you turned it into a ass scooper, a poop scooper. But yeah, so you bent my very expensive designer
Hey, I'm no
earring.
fucking jeweler. I didn't know it was expensive, babe.
Even if it was cheap, you fucking
What do I
prick.
know?
Yeah. So then I see that, and I'm like, oh, and then I look at you, and by the light of the television, I can see that you are visibly covered in dirt, and I am like, okay. So first I'm like, Mark, you know, I'm like, hello, but then you're not stirring, and then I got a whiff of you, how bad you smell, and I was like, listen to me, you need to. I was like pushing you. I was like, you need to take a shower.
Fucking hygiene's for fucking pussy boys.
Yeah, and
real men fucking get covered in shit and they maybe scrape it off on the weekend if they got time.
Yeah, well, then you were shooing me away like I was a bug, and I was like, no, this isn't fair to me. I am a person.
I'm proud of my daughter.
Oh yeah, this is what you're gonna say on this, because you felt very sheepish after I told you the rest. You were being such a jerk. You were like, like you were just like a teenager, and then you were like, babe, stop. I have to go to work. And I was like, it's 10:30.
There's shit all over the bed.
Yeah, candy's gone, earrings bent, you're covered in shit, everything smells, and I was like, you're taking a fucking shower. I was like, I'm not gonna argue about this. And I was like, look, if you don't want to take a shower, you can sleep on the floor. Like, these are your choices, but I'm not gonna sleep in a bed with a dirty drunk man. And you had just been drooling. There's just drool all over the bed, like that. And so you refused to get up. You laughed in my face at one point, which made me so angry. You laughed in my face, and then so I took the covers away from you because
that's not a good move.
Well, that was a move, because then so at first I could see that you kind of curled up, you in defiance. You were like, I'm not going to. This will not break me. But then I saw how drunk you were, because you like forgot about that and then started reaching behind you, like with your eyes closed, looking for the covers I'd taken from you. And then, when I did finally tell you what time it was, that's when you finally sort of were like, oh, like you had no real argument about why you couldn't shower, because it was a perfectly reasonable time of the evening for you to take a shower and still get a good night's sleep. And you had definitely already been asleep for 2 hours, so it's not...
I wonder if I was asleep that long, because it really did take me hours to get home again.
Well, we can look at the fucking timestamp, because you did tell me when you got home. You were like, I'm home.
Oh.
And you were being so sweet. You were, you were being yourself. You were being nice to me. But then I get home and you're looking at me like I'm a pig. You're like, how dare you?
Snatching someone's blankets away, that's kind of an encroachment on someone's human rights.
Excuse me. Your scent was an encroachment of my human rights, all right? I was like, I sat in the bed with you for a second thinking, can I sleep night? And I was like, I refuse.
I'm sleeping next to a donkey in a barnyard.
That's what it would have been like, correct? Yes.
Yeah, well, Jesus was born in a barnyard.
I don't believe in Jesus. How's that sound? What you got now? Irish Catholic?
Well, next time you sit in a fucking chair, you just remember that it was done by a carpenter, and the carpenter he was invented by Jesus.
That's a bad argument, but I did win the argument yesterday, because eventually you got up to take a shower. You got up, you like left you were like, ugh. Like you were seconds away from hissing at me. I swear to God. So then you go to the bathroom, and you were in there long enough without turning on the water to make me feel
I
like
just fell asleep.
I did have a thought that maybe you fell asleep, or I thought you were like releasing all of the hounds out of your fucking stomach for what you did yesterday, or I thought you were trying to trick me. That you were trying to trick me into thinking that you went in there to shower, and then you were going to come out covered in dirt. Because you
sneak back to bed,
because you were sneering at me. You were sneering at me, and it was I said to you, I was like, I have never been more angry with you than I am right now. And you didn't give a fuck. You gave no fucks. You didn't care. So then you take the shower, and so you were in there without turning on the water long enough for me to make a salad and eat a salad, and like sort of like I was just like fuck. And we have roommates now, so I'm also thinking like, this is a disaster because you were like so ornery. You were like, ugh.
They think that maybe a bit of a hobo.
They might think you have a drinking problem after 2 nights. But so then you come out and you're like, you come back into the room and you're like, I've showered. You know, like I'm supposed to fucking roll out the red carpet for you. And I was like, all right, thank you. And then you were like, can I go back to sleep? And I was like, yes, you may. And then you were like, are you angry with me? And I was like, yes. And you were like, ugh. And then you go back to sleep. And then I was awake just most of the night just because. And you wake up at like 4 a.m. and you like, you know, look at me and you're all cute and you like try to hold me. And I say to you, I was like, I am not happy with you. And you were like, why? And I was like, oh, you don't remember.
Remembers nothing. I love that about my brain. It doesn't bother retaining the negative stuff. I even got a good filter on when I'm drunk. It just pushes all the...
I mean, and it was fun relaying all this information back to you because you had a very good giggle about it.
I was hearing it for the first time and I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, what a character I am. What a cheeky little scamp.
Yeah.
Going to bed covered in shit and refusing to shower.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, and then...
Refusing hygiene's funny. That's a funny thing to do because, I don't know, can you force someone to be clean? Like, what if I went to the supermarket and I was just covered in shit? Can they say something? And I could be like, oh, no, you're infringing on... This part of my culture is to have shit on my face. And it is. I mean,
well, it is. I mean, you come home with shit on you every single day. But I appreciate that we had a nice laugh. And now today is a new day and you have cleaned yourself.
Yeah, I did a gig tonight.
You did a gig tonight?
I did stand-up again. And it was an open mic and... God damn it, I miss when people go on stage and go, so I'm on the spectrum and...
Never do that.
That's exactly what I saw it tonight. It was good. It's good. Open mics are good because I like hanging around with people who can't look at you in the eye. So that's me as well.
Yep. Good. I'm glad you're happy.
No one makes eye contact and everyone just does what they think is funny.
I mean, all in all, London is a vast improvement. I mean, you did accidentally almost give away all of your money to a scammer within hours of touching down.
I had jet lag and you set me up.
Oh, I set you up. Okay, well, you know, I was trying to set up our phones so they would be in working order. And
then you put me onto the bank and...
Well, I'm just going to say this, because yes, fine, I'm going to take 50% of the accountability here. I Googled Revolut customer service phone number, and apparently there is none.
You Googled it, and then you press call, and you hand it to...
I didn't press call. I Googled it, and I had to type in the number. But somebody's purchased ad space... That's at the very top of Google.
You handed me a phone that was calling.
Yes. So I put in the number that said Revolut customer service phone number. And that is someone who has purchased that ad space. And they use the Revolut logo. And it is a phone number that leads to... I don't even know.
Hello, my name is Punjab and I'm going to scam you.
Yep, that guy.
Yeah.
And then that guy... You explained what the issue was because we were trying to give some information we were trying to have 3 verify our bank account, your bank account, so we could get our phone set up. And then the guy told you what?
Slick dick.
Slick dick. It's not that slick, but go on.
This slick dick obviously heard the jet lag in my voice and knew I was an easy target. And got me to download an app that gives him access to my phone and all my child porn.
I mean, that's what he was really there for.
He was like, "Now just go to Revolut and put in your PIN." And I was like, "Wait." Well, I didn't even. I was about to do it, and then you were like, "Hang up the phone."
Well,
hang up the phone because you're like reading blogs, going, "Then you never ever can get them. You can't call them."
Well, yeah, so the thing is I made the mistake of just looking at the logo and being like, this is Revolut's customer service phone number. But then upon this guy telling you to download this app, which like I've used with a customer service before, where they, you mirror the screen, but he tells you to download the app and then he tells you to go into the Revolut account. And I'm just like thinking, what? And so I go back to the page and then I realize that what it is, it's just people trying to scam people. And then I'm hearing what he's doing and I was like, no, like snapping at you. And then he calls back. He starts calling my phone back. You remember that?
Yeah.
He called like 3 times and then I pick up the phone and I'm like, hello? And he's like, hello? I'd like to speak to the person I was still talking.
He was like, we've got the real retard here. Let's try again.
Yeah.
We gotta try again. This guy, we nearly had this guy.
When I was just like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, I'm the only one here and this is my phone. And he was like, I'm talking about the man seated next to you.
And then I was
and
like,
that
is he
scared
looking,
the shit out of me.
Is he looking through my camera?
Because I've been awake
and
like
then
36 hours.
I didn't know what to do then when I thought he might be looking through my camera. So I just did what anyone would do. I put my phone down my pants.
And you showed him your dick.
You want to look at something?
Well, and so then I remember he was like, well, he called me for help, and that was the last thing he said before we
still have a number. We could call him back and just
we could call him back and we could record it on the podcast. We should maybe do that sometime. But I want to do it with
I'm gonna call him back and I'm just
because
gonna,
we got
I'm
scared.
just gonna ask him to sort out my Revolut account, and then I'm gonna keep on playing just snippets of like
child porn,
Die Hard. No, just Die Hard, just random bits of Die Hard.
What about Con Air?
Or Con Air.
Ooh, Face Off.
I'm gonna anything with Nicolas Cage and cheesy. I'm gonna just play it down the phone, and he's gonna be, what is this? And then we're gonna, are you going to empty my bank account for me or not? Or do I have to put the phone back down my pants again?
Well, it was very alarming. And then when 3 called us back to try to set up the phones, can you imagine what that woman must think? Because I was like, no, I didn't get in touch with the bank. In fact, here's what's happened, and now we're concerned that all of our money is gone.
Yeah,
she actually talked us through that, though.
Yeah.
So, 3 customer service, I would say 5 stars. Except now they keep calling me.
Yeah, well, we can.
Do they keep calling you?
No, they only try to call me twice.
They call me every fucking day.
No, well, just answer when you're ready, you know what I mean? Or just answer it and go like, 3, not no, I appreciate it. But maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks, I'll call you. Don't be pushy.
That's why we're late. We've had a lot going on.
There wasn't time to podcast. This we can podcast again soon.
Yeah, as you're yawning. This has been such a riveting experience.
No, we have to fucking get a routine going. My routine's fucking...
yeah, it's just alcohol.
It's work. It's
work
alcohol,
and then alcohol.
It's stand up. I'm reading Sylvia Plath's fucking journal.
Yeah, I know. You have a crush on a dead teenager.
Hilarious. Everything Sylvia says is such a hoot. Such a hoot that you want to put your head in the fucking microwave.
Okay, now I'm jealous, but can you shout out some people so this...
Damo.
Nice.
Kevin.
Next. Excellent.
Sinead.
Boom.
Adam.
Yeah.
Naylor. Tom Ford.
No, fuck off. All right, we're going off the phone. If you would like, we did put a bonus episode on our Patreon, available for the $5 subscribers. That was on for last week.
If we get another 300 Patreon subscribers, we're gonna upgrade the recording equipment.
That would be nice.
Yeah, 300.
Maybe one day.
300, $5 a month, and we'll actually record in something that doesn't sound like my phone down my pants. Good night.